What's the story on our next guest?
He's ready to go.
I love it, man. We've had him here in the studio before.
Great.
Fantastic conversation, and he's going to be in the general vicinity at Montage Mountain. It is the Mountain Fest event that is taking place tomorrow night, and not only is his band performing, but Verve Pipe will be there. They're doing a fireworks show afterwards. Obviously, you can ski and snowboard and all that stuff. From Spin Doctors, please give some love to Mr. Chris Barron this morning.
Oh, giving the love to Chris Barron.
Yeah. How are you, man?
I'm good. You got Chris Barron pajama edition.
Are you wearing jammies?
PJs?
Get out of here. Let me see.
I love it.
Pajama pants. He's shaking his ass at the camera. I love it. Dude, I have a pair just like that. Like a flannel plaid pajamas are my happy place, dude.
Oh, man. After the last couple of years, my pajama game is ridiculous. Oh, and you guys, check out my, is anybody watching this? Or
They'll see it. They'll see
We're on
it. Yeah.
YouTube, yeah, so we do have people.
Check out my ring light game.
He put on his glasses so you can see the ring
Isn't that
lights.
horrible?
I see ring lights. Are those ring lights in the background too? That are not on?
Oh, this is like my daughter moved out like a year ago, and we're finally like turning her room into the office now.
Right.
So it's funny because from like if I took the computer and I turn it around like and pointed it back this way, it's like off the hook.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like West down desk, and I got a 100-year-old typewriter, and it just looks fantastic. But I sat down and turned on the Zoom thing, and I was like, what the? People are going to think I'm some sort of savage.
Chris, we had such a great time with you in our studio last time you were here, and you know, we talked about all things music, and you had enlightened us to Little Miss Can't Be Wrong being about your stepmother. We were like, that was a mind blower, man. And you know, and I love hearing the stories behind songs that we've, you know, heard for so long, and eventually, oh, that's what that's about. It was just a cool, intriguing conversation. I wanted to ask you about this, and I'm going to tie it into another one of your songs that I remember from back in the day. But you do this, you love cats. Cats are a thing that you on social media. You do a thing, Catter Day, you post pictures of cats all the time. And I remember a song, Cleopatra's Cat, from back in the day. Does your love of cats go way, way, way back like that?
Not at all. Actually, quite the opposite. I was allergic to cats growing up. And like my wife, I met my wife, and you know, it's, you know, when you start talking about how you got together with your wife, you're like, how much of this story do I tell? It's kind of right. But it was like, you know, I'm hanging out with her, and I'm like, you know, actually, this is a good part. She's like, what do you do? And I was like, the night we met. And I'm like, I'm in a band. And she's like, what's the name of your band? Like, Spin Doctors? And she goes, I have to text someone. Her best friend growing up, Thad Yankin, in Ohio, like Worthington, Ohio. He was like super into Spin Doctors. So the next day she's talking to her mom, and she's like, hey, I met this guy. He's in a band. Do you remember that song that Thad used to sing all the time? And her mom is like in her late 60s, right? And without skipping a beat, she goes, for third day. So then I'm like, well, what do you do? And she's like, I'm an actress. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, actresses are my kryptonite. And and then I'm like, but I really liked her, you know, and I was like, you know, God, she's so funny and cool. And then I'm like, she's like, oh, my cat, and I'm like, oh God. So she lived up in Inwood. You know, I live in Manhattan, right? And it's an island. The very top of it is Inwood, and I really liked her, right? So like a couple nights a week, I was going and like staying at her place, which is like, Manhattan is so provincial. Like, leaving your neighborhood is like this big message to somebody. Like, oh, I'm going to go to Brooklyn for you.
No, you're right. You're exactly right.
You know, the only thing bigger than that is like taking someone to the airport. Like, if you're ever visiting someone in New York, you're flying in from Miami, don't ask them to get you at the airport. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Not in New York. So like, I'm staying at her house and I'm sneezing my face off because she's got this fantastic cat, Gus, and he's such a good guy. And I grew up like my best friend had cats, but I was like her, I was always just like sneezing all the time when I was at their house. And they didn't have like Claritin yet back then. This was the 20th century. Like we didn't have like advanced allergy medications and stuff. So like, this goes on for 8 months or something like that. And one day I forget to take Claritin and I didn't sneeze. So love cured my cat.
That does happen, by the way, Chris. It'll happen where people will kind of move in and out of allergies. I love cats, love dogs, but I'm a big cat guy. We have 9 cats in the house. So I'd be a dead man, but the I just take medication because they're so awesome. But I think more and more now it's become okay for guys to be cat dudes. It works.
Oh yeah,
right? Haven't you found that?
Mark Twain was like this, and Mark Twain, now we're talking, 1800s. Dude was like, anybody who likes cats is cool with me. I'm paraphrasing. I think he said it in like, Mark Twain kind of.
Twain speak.
Twain speak, exactly. But like, I think the whole cat thing goes, there's pictures of like, Oscar Wilde with cats and stuff like that. I mean, and the other thing too that's really funny is like, because people send me everything about cats. And I just want to say one thing too. Like, I just want to kind of correct what you said before. He's always tweeting pictures of cats, or it's only on Saturday. Saturday is Catterday.
Saturday, that's right.
Because I know if I post one picture of a cat, it's going to be this huge avalanche of cats in my feed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes way back, man. Cats are
they're awesome.
Yeah, so I don't want to create an enemy here, but Dan Auerbach, I interviewed him one time, and I was asking him about whether or not he had loved something so much that he would name his cat after it. And he goes, first of all, I would never own an effing cat, is what he said. Yeah. But so I'm going to ask you the same question. Have you ever loved something enough to actually name your cat after it? Because I named my first cat after a Fish song. So I was wondering if you had ever done something like that.
So who is this effing cat person?
Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys.
He's dead to me.
Agreed.
I would never own an effing cat.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's missing out. He's missing out. Would you have
dead to me? I don't know who he is. I don't want to know who he is. I mean, one thing I want to say is I'll come back to your question because that's a superb question, and I do have an answer to it. But like the other thing is, people think that because I'm a cat person, I don't like dogs.
No.
Like why? It's like Beatles and the Rolling Stones,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like, I love this. No, you hate the Beatles. Like, no, I love dogs.
Yeah, there's an automatic assumption. I have my dog Chelsea. I love her to death. You love them both, but it's just it's part of the deal.
All your children.
So to Casey's question, you said you had an answer for naming.
Well, like you know how it is when something turns out to be like really intense in your life. You go back and you see little like particles of it earlier on, like sort of a past reverberation of your future, right?
Right.
I got to write that one down. Nice cube. I had a moment of madness, and I bought like a piece of land in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I have to own this. This is so beautiful. It was like mountain views and everything. There's like a barn, and out of nowhere comes this not a Siamese, not a Persian. What's the one that's like in between a Persian and a Siamese? Anyway, somebody will know, and they'll Google us.
It's a Persian.
Persian.
Persianese.
Anyway, so this beautiful cat comes out, right? And comes up to me and just starts like rubbing its like head on my leg, and I like bend over and start petting it, and then it kind of takes a few steps away, and the owner is like, "Oh, you met the cat," and I'm like, "Yeah, what's her name?" And they're like, she's a barn cat. I was like, "She doesn't have a name?" She's like, "No, she won't let anybody touch her." And I was like,
"Wow."
Took a step over to her and I started petting her, and the dude was like, oh, well, I guess she's your cat. So when they moved out and I bought this place, they gave me the cat. And,
Oh my God.
and so, I mean, they left the cat, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, back then, I haven't smoked pot in, like, can I talk about smoking pot?
Yes, absolutely.
I haven't smoked pot since my kid was born, but like, back then, I was, like, on the cover of High Times, like, just smoking huge bong hits all the time. And in the evening, like, I would, like, just blow a huge, like, 6-foot bong and, like, sit out on my front terrace. And this cat would come and, like, jump up on my lap and just sit there and be like,
Just right up on the camera for those who aren't watching.
just like staring into my eyes. And I'm looking down into her eyes and I'm like, oh, wow, they're really green. Like, oh, wow, they're so weird the way the pupils are. Irises are like vertical. And then I was like, oh, shit, I think I see a galaxy in there. Like, oh, man, I think I see the birth of the universe. And like, it was crazy, like these mystical eyes. And so I was driving around. She didn't have a name. And I was trying to be cool, like the old guy who'd owned the farm. I was like, oh, yeah, it's just cat, whatever. And I was like, no, I don't feel that way. This is like, there's an emerging emotion. And I was like driving along. And I named her Sappho after this like fantastic like Greek poet that I really love.
Yeah. That's so something you loved. And is that cat since passed into the ether, or are you?
Oh, man, she got munched by coyotes.
Oh, that's terrible.
There you go. Wow. Listen, besides the love of cats, I
good
want
ending, right?
Wait, real quick, munched by a coyote.
Real quick before we go to the next topic, the Himalayan, Chris. That was the Himalayan that you were trying to think of.
Oh yeah, Himalayan.
That's the breed.
That's right.
Okay.
So listen, as Preston said, we loved the last time you were on the show, and we're fans. And I was just wondering, when you have the high pressure of the initial jumping into the fame circle, and you got all that stuff going on. It's obviously tons of benefits, but there's a lot of things that are like pulling at you. I got to imagine, and this impressed us the last time around, that this is, for a creative guy and a guy who loves performing, this has got to be a better time for you. Would you agree with that?
You mean like in terms of my own personal like maturity?
Well, I mean, you're still you obviously you have your legend. You're performing. People love you, but there's not that initial thing that I assume probably comes with a whole lot of head spinning. Like, how do we keep this? You know what I'm saying? You got it now.
You know, that's such a perceptive comment, and but it's, you know, as usual, like there's not like a cut and dry yes or no answer to that, because like that was really fun.
Yeah,
I had a ball. And there were like attendant hassles, but it was all very new and novel, and like, you know, I'm coming out of this household where I was like pretty, you know, shabbily treated, and you know, like coming out of this childhood that left me, you know, kind of deeply sort of lonely, dispositionally kind of lonely, and then like here I am suddenly like the coolest kid in the room, you know, and like rubbing elbows with like Robert De Niro, you know, and all of these heroes of mine, like the Rolling Stones and stuff like that. So it was a scream, you know what I mean? I had a ball. But now, yeah, there's like, I'm much more settled in my own self now, and I can like just, you know, if somebody recognizes me, it's not like a big freak out kind of thing that ends up being me, you know, trying to buy a pair of underwear and like signing 300, you know, kids like arms, you know, like it's very, you know, my life is, somebody recognizes me now, they're like, bit. That's it, you know, that's like the whole thing.
Right.
And
no, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Oh my God! By the way, if you're just tuning in, it's Chris Barron of Spin Doctors. Going to be playing Montage Mountain tomorrow night. By the way, I wanted to ask you about this, Chris. Ryan Reynolds took a little bit of a shot at Spin Doctors in the movie Deadpool, a little name check, which I guess could be kind of
An honor.
An honor.
It's like
yeah,
a Don
because-
Rickles insult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you take that when you first heard about
I
it?
loved it, man.
That's great.
I love all that stuff. Like, I mean, the way I look at it is like, you know, you guys know me. I'm sort of a philosopher, and like, I like to think I can see the big picture. You know, I'm sorry. Can I find you like a little reaction that I made?
Yeah,
Sure.
please. Absolutely. Are you looking for a recording?
I am like, I'm just happy to be part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
There you go.
And if that, and like, okay, you know, overall, like, I take what I do seriously. I take singing seriously. I take writing seriously. I take, like, you know, my band mates and what they think seriously, you know? But I don't take myself seriously.
Okay.
That's healthy.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a healthy way to.
That's great.
I'm happy to be the butt of a joke. Or can I?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to show you guys this, but there's audio, so your radio, it'll be good radio. So this is the scene. Ryan Reynolds is playing the character Deadpool, and he's telling his girlfriend that like he has no intention of like he has cancer, and he has no intention of like going through the whole.
We have passed.
He drops the S-bomb in that clip, and so we can't have that on the radio where he goes, it's an S show. You know what I mean? So is that in there?
It's in there.
Yeah.
Dump it.
I can paraphrase it.
Yeah.
But what's the reaction? Is it your reaction?
Oh, it's too bad. I wish I could do it. Can you guys bleep it?
I can. Let's try it. I'll dump
it.
out
Go ahead.
of what doesn't fit, and we'll see if it works.
It's a yak off, Smirnoff, and then beep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So here, let me see.
All right, here we go. He's playing. Oh,
he didn't
you got to
know the mic.
Wait.
unmute
Wait,
it.
I gotta get that. Sorry, you guys. This is. I swear to God, this is funny and worth it.
All right.
All right, here.
He's trying to get.
I just. Okay.
Did you
I
delete
just
it?
got past. I got past.
Okay. The curse.
Actually, no, but there's more. There's more cursing.
Yeah, there is. Okay. It's Deadpool.
We'll do what we can.
Deadpool. I swear to God, this is fun and worth it.
Jack off, smeared off, opening for the spin doctors at the Iowa State Fair. Shit show. Oh,
That's you? Nice. That's great, man.
It took me like 8 times to I was watching the movie and I'd forgotten I was in there, and like, you know, so I had like this sort of whatever, the cable thing where you can pause it and like back it up.
Yeah.
And it took me like 8 times to get that right. And then I posted it on Twitter and Ryan Reynolds liked it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. I was curious because one time we had, of all people, we had Meredith Baxter Burney in here, and in the movie Deadpool, they joke about her giving a Dutch oven to you, and we said, hey, they mentioned you in this movie, and she didn't quite know what to think about that. So she wasn't angry or anything.
not
She was
at
like,
all.
well, I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. But I'm glad that you, I would have thought you would have taken it that way, Chris. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, it means you're part of the zeitgeist. It means you know, it means you're like in there. You know, I don't care if people like make fun of me.
No, that's clear. It's a healthy attitude.
Listen, it's no being made fun of, but a fun time. And unfortunately, we got to wrap now, Chris.
Can I plug one thing?
Please do. I was going to mention the gig, but I'll do that at the end. Go ahead.
In November, Spin Doctors are playing the City Winery, Philadelphia, with special guest John Popper of the Blues Traveler.
That's pretty damn awesome.
It's a great show.
He's doing
First on WMMR.
Is he sitting in? Is he playing the whole gig with you, or just doing a couple
Doing
songs?
the whole gig. It's gonna be crazy.
It's excellent.
We should get you guys in the studio before that
Yes.
gig. I mean, if you and John are able to come in, we'd love to have you.
I'm
Yes.
wondering if it's
Great. Yeah, I
during
would love that.
Camp Out for Hunger would be even better.
We'll look into that and see if we can make
Let's
that happen.
coordinate. We'll coordinate on the dates and we'll promote it because first off, the venue's great, and this would be cool to see you guys like that. It'd be awesome.
Yep.
Special small venue. We're gonna blow the walls out of that place.
Awesome.
Plaster falling out of the ceiling.
In the meantime, Montage Mountain tomorrow night. It is Mountain Fest, and the Verve Pipe is playing as well. So this is going to be a great show. Fireworks and all that stuff. and it will be a past reverberation of your future if you show up.
You wrote it down.
Yeah,
we wrote it down for you.
Wrote it down for you.
Yes.
So. Hey, Chris, we love you, man. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Have a great
I love
game.
you guys too, man. WMMR forever. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Let's hear it from Chris Barron, the Spin Doctors.
Such a nice guy, man.
He is the best.